All right, we're back. So we're going to go to Luke, the 3rd chapter, and the I'm gonna read it in Hebrew first. So I'm gonna read Luke 3 and 1 in Hebrew first, and then I'm going to go back in English.
Luke, the 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter.
So this is Luke 3 and 1. It says in Hebrew, Bashanath Kamash Aishara Lama Lakwath Hakoya Sar Tar Bar Yowas Tiberius Tar Bar Yowas Bahaya Wath Pawa Nat Yowath Pilate Paya Latwas Pontius Pilate Hagum one Baya Hawada Wahawa Radwas Shar Rabbi Io Hagalayal Wa Akwa Paya Lapwas Shar Rabbi Io Mada Wanwath Yata War Wata Rak Wana Wala Wa Nas Yas Shar Rabbi Io Abba Yol 1, verse 2. By a Wumyim Haka Hunyim priest, Haka Hunyim Haga the Wolyum Kanan. It's John. Kanan is John. Wakwa Ya Pa Hazar Dabar Alahayim O Yawa Kanan Bun Zakarza Zachariah Bama Dabar, verse 3. Waya Ba'aba Wayaba'a al Kol Kakar Haya Radan Waya Korah Tabayolath Hathash Waba Lasala Yathkath Hakatayam, verse 4. Kakathawab Basapar Dabarya Yeshayawa Hana Baya Kwawo Kwawa Ra Bama Dabar Panwa Darak Yahawa Yesharwa Masala Wathwa Salak Masala Wathyawa, verse 5. Ko Gaya Yana Shah Wako Har Wagaba I Yawa Salak Yasha Powa Wahaya Ha'ai Kwab Lama Yasha War Wahara Kasyam Laba Kwa'ai, verse 6. Wara'a Wa Ko Bashar Ath Yasha Wa'aith Alahayim, verse 7. Wayamar O Hamawan Ha'ain Haya Tazayim Laha Tabo Io Yadwa Atham Ya Ladya Hataza Pi Wanyam Maya Hawa Ra Afkam Laha Malat Ma Panya Hakwa Tazap Hagbar, verse 8. Lakan Aishwa Paria Harayawa Salak Harawaya Latha Thash Waba Wa'o the Madwa Bana Pashkam La'amar Abara Hum Hawa'a Abayanawa Kaya Anya Amar Lakam Kaya Man Ha'a Bunyam Ha'oha Yako Ha'alahayim Laha Kwa Yum Bunyam La'abaraham. Verse 9. Waka Bar Hawa Shum Hagara Zun Io Sharash Ha'ai Tazayam Wahana Ko Aitaza Ashara Aya Nunwa Aisha Paria Tawab Yaka Dai Wahashalak Ba'ash verse 10. Wayasha Lawa Hama 1 Ha'ain La Amar Ma Apa Wa Na'ai Shah verse 11. Waya Ain Waya Amar Al Yaham Maya Ashara Lawa Kathunwath Shathyam Hawa'a Yakalak La Ashara Ayan Lawa Wama Ya Ashara Lawa Maza 1 Kaka Ya Aisha Gum Hawa'a verse 12. Waya Ba Awa Gum Mawa Kasim Laha Tabo Waya Amarwa Alyawa Rabia to like Rabaya Ma Na Aisha verse 13. Waya Amar Alyaham O Thagabwa Yawa Thar Makakam verse 14. Wayasha Alawa Gum Anashya Hatazaba La Amar Wa Naknawa Ma Na Aisha Waya Amar Al Yaham Ayash O Thaza I Zaiwa Wa O Thala Thalasha Yanwa Ayash Waya Haya Diya Lakam Bashakarkam verse 15. Wayahaya Ka'ashra Kaka Ha'aish Ha'ain Waka Lum Ka Shabyam Bala Bum La Amar Walya Yawa Kanan Hawa'a Hama Shiyak Waya Ain Yawa Kanan Waya Amar Laka Lum Hun Anya Tawa Bo Athkam Ba Bumyam Abo Bawa'a Yabawa'a Haza Haka Zak Mumnawa. It's like Mumnaya Ashra Aya Ayun. I think this is a typo. Well, don't you see me on the phone? Oh, you? Aya Nanya Kabya Lahatha Yar Ath Shara Wak Na Alyewa Hawa'a Yata Bo Athkam Baroka Hakwa Dash Waba Ash verse 17. Ashara Hama Zara Bayadwa Laha Bar Ath Garanwa Waya Sap Ath the Gunwa O Awa Tazarwa Wa Ath Hamataz Yasha Rapnawa Ba'ash Ashra La'ath Aka Ba verse 18. Wakan Aiwad Dabarium Akarium Haraba Bashar Wagum Haza Hayar Ath Ha'ain verse 19. Wahawa Radwas Shah Rabbi Hamada Yana Ashra Hawa Kak Ayo Yadwa Ayo Ada Wath Hawara Wadya Hawada Wadya Ashath Akwa Paya Lapwas Wa Ayo Ada Wath Ko Harai Ashra Asha Hawa Radwas verse 20. Lawa Sawap Ayo Ko Oha Gum Ath Wa Ath Waya Gar Ath Yawa Kanan Basha like Bama Shamar verse 21. Prison. Wayahaya Baha Tabo Ko Ha'ain Wagum Yahawashai Natabo, Wama Thapalo, Waya Pa Thakwa, Hasha Mayim, verse 22. Waya Rod Ilyawa, Roka, Hakwadash, Ba Dumwath, Gawap, Kaya Wana, Wayahaya, Kwawo Man, Hasha Mayim, Wa Amar, so like Waya Amar, Athar Bunya, Yadya, so like Yaya, so like Yada Yadya, Baka, Ratazatha, Napasha, verse 23. Waha, so like Wahawa'a, Yahawashai, Bahakoa, Haya, Kabun, Shalashim, Shana, Wayaka, Shabawa, Laban, Yawa Pas Bun, Al Yawa. So like Al Ya. So this is getting into the names now. Bun Mathaf Bun Lawyer Bun Malakya Bun Yanaya Bun Yawasap. Verse 25. So Yawasap. Where's Hala? 23. Oh, no, I missed it. Alya, that's what that is. That was up. Okay. 25. Bun Mathathya Bun Ama Watazab Bun Nakawum Bun Kasolya Bun Nagaya Nagar. Verse 26. Bun Makath Bun Mathathya Bun Shemaya Bun Yawasap Bun Yawadah, verse 27. Bun Yawakanan Bun Raya Shah Bun Zarababal Bun Sha'alath Ya'ala Bun Nara, verse 28. Bun Malakya Bun Adiyah Bun Wakwa Salakwaya Sum Bun Allah Dum Bun Ire, verse 29. What's bun mean? Bun. If you following what verse I'm at, you following the verses I'm at, you'll pick up what bun is. Well, I'm at verse 29. Bun Yawa Sapya Bun Allah Ya I Son. There you go. Allah Ya I Zar Bun Ya Warium Bun Mathath Bun La verse 30. Bun Shemaiwan Bun Yahawada Bun Yawa Sap Bun Yawa Nush Yawa Num Bun Allah Yakyam, verse 31. Bun Mala Ya Bun Maya Na Bun Mathathan Bun Mathatha Bun No Nathan Bun Dawad, verse 32. Bun Yashya Bun Iwa Bad Bun Ba'ais Bun Shalom one Bun Nakash one, verse 33. Bun I'm Yanadab Bun Aram Bun Ka Tazar one Bun Paratazar Bun Yahawada, verse 34. Bun Yaikwab Bun Wa Tazakak Bun Abba Raham Bun Tharak Bun Naka War, verse 35. Bun Shara War Shalak Sharawag Bun Raiwa Bun Palag Bun Ibar Bun Shalak, verse 36. Bun Yakwa Salak Kwaya Nun Bun Ara Pak Shad, Bun Shum, Bun Nakah, Bun Lamak, verse 36. So like verse 37. Bun Matha wa Shalak, Bun Kanawak, Bun Yarad, Bun Mahalal Allah, Bun Kwayanun, verse 38, last verse. Bun Anawash, Bun Shath, Bun Adam, Bun Alahayim. So he went from Adam then to the powers.
That was the real lineage, right?
Huh?
That was the real lineage of Jesus right there.
Forgot the last class when we did this.
I'm saying, was that referring to the other?
We'll get to it. Or is that referring to what?
The chapter.
I guess it was the last class where they.
Yeah, we were in the New
It
Testament.
was supposed to
Yeah,
be, but it wasn't. It wasn't the situation.
Right.
So this ain't the same one though. This
No.
is the real
No,
lineage.
no. This is not Jacob's lineage. I mean, Jacob's lineage. This is not Joseph's lineage.
Oh, okay.
This is not Joseph's lineage that we're reading here in Luke. Right?
And it wasn't the last time we read either.
And Matthew's is Jacob's lineage, Joseph's lineage.
Well, it says the same thing. It says supposed. Though.
Same thing where?
It says supposed.
In Matthew's?
Whatever we were reading last.
That was Luke. That's what we're about to read now. That was Luke 3rd chapter. When we was in Matthew, when we was in Matthew's, we went to Luke the 3rd chapter. That's what we're about to read as a supposed.
Right, now we're going into the 3rd chapter.
Yeah, now we're going to go into it. We was in Luke the 1st chapter about the birth.
Okay.
And then I touched on Matthew the 1st chapter, and then went and touched on Luke the 3rd chapter. Right.
Who was it? Who was it?
A disciple.
Matthew,
Yeah.
Mark, Luke, and John.
Right.
Yeah. So now we're going to start at Luke 3:1. It says, now in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, Pontius Pilate being governor of Judea, and Herod being tetrarch of Galilee, and his brother Philip, tetrarch of Iturea, and of the region of Trachonitis, and Lysanias, and the tetrarch of Albalene. Yeah, because there's an at the end. So going back to Tiberius Caesar, his 15th year in his reign. So remember, the last chapter we was dealing with Caesar Augustus, right? And I said Caesar Augustus reigned from 44 to 44 BC to 14 AD, right? His period was the longest of all the 12 Caesars, right? Okay. Then following Caesar Augustus is Tiberius Augustus, right? So now Caesar Augustus reigned until 14 AD. So that's around the time when Yahushua is 14, 15 years old, right? Okay. Then comes in Tiberius, right? Tiberius is now reigning as king or Caesar over the realm. Then what happens is Yahushua is involved in that time period, right? Because from 15, the 15th year of Tiberius's reign is where we're at. So now this is around 30 years old for Yahushua, right?
15 AD.
No, he started his reign in around 14, 15 AD.
Okay, right after my man. That I can
right after Caesar Augustus. Now 15 years have gone by. That's what it says. In the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar.
Right.
So now we're around 30 AD.
Okay.
Right? That's around time Christ is 30 years old.
30 AD.
Right. This is around the time where he now starts to do his ministry hardcore.
Right.
Right? This is around the time when John the Baptist baptizes Yahushua.
Okay.
Because remember, John the Baptist, when we read it in other chapters, he was telling them that the one that's going to come after me, he's going to baptize you with the Holy Ghost and fire.
Right.
Then here came Yahushua.
Right.
Right? And then what happened? Yahushua was baptized of John. Once that happened, now Yahushua went and started doing his thing. This is around that time, in 30th year of Christ's life, around the 15th year of Tiberius Caesar's reign is when we start to see Yahushua start to do his ministry
Okay.
at the time when John the Baptist is now coming to off his ministry because now Yahushua is there.
Right.
All right.
So John the Baptist, he was there.
Right. We're about to get into it.
All right.
So it says in read Luke 3:1 again. Now in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, Pontius Pilate being governor of Judea. So in the 15th year, Pilate is there, who was the same Pilate who had that whole thing with investigating or interrogating Yahushua, right? It says, and Herod being tetrarch of Galilee. So now we got Herod, who's now a tetrarch, like a little mayor over a certain realm. Pilate is the governor. Tiberius is Caesar, right? Remember, we said earlier that the same kind of structures that we have now are the same type structures that they had back then. This just was an adoption of that.
All these names will be have Caesar in it.
No,
Okay.
the Caesar is Tiberius,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Caesar's
yeah,
like
yeah.
president or emperor,
Like
Yeah, emperor.
Obama
Right.
and Donald Trump.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Here we go.
So it says, and Herod being tetrarch of Galilee and his brother Philip, tetrarch of Iturea, right? So they're like mayors of sorts in different regions within the realm, right? So now when you have that, it's the same thing now when it goes into order, right? When something happens within your section, you deal with it there first, right? And then if it can't be done there, then you go up to the high authority. You go up to the higher one. That's how the same thing works. So it says in verse 2, Annas and Caiaphas, being the high priests, the word of God came unto John, the son of Zacharias, in the wilderness. So while these two people are high priests, John the Baptist now is starting to do his thing or has been doing his thing, and the word came to him in the wilderness. And he came into all the country about Jordan, preaching baptism of repentance for the remission of sins, right? So he was using actual the symbolism of putting someone or submerging them in water for the purpose of remitting their sins, cleansing them of their sins. Like Zakar said, oh, if I come and I get a clean slate. So this is like getting a clean slate.
Right.
If you remit, you acknowledge and remit your sins,
Right.
then you can now be re-engaged with the Father. You could be now joined back to the Father. But you first had to remit your sins by acknowledging them and repenting from them. Right? And then going and getting submerged, right? That was that symbolic form of now being joined back to the Lord. Christ didn't do that. He didn't put nobody under the water. He just gave them the spirit or will give them the fire.
Okay.
Verse 4, as it is written in the book of the words of Isaiah, the prophet, saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make his path straight. Every valley shall be filled, every mountain and hill shall be brought low, and the crooked ways should be made straight, and the rough ways should be made smooth, and all flesh shall see the salvation of God, which we just read in the last chapter, pertaining to Yahushua, right? Simeon walked in and said, I have seen the salvation of the Most High, right? So everybody's going to bear witness to the salvation of the Most High. But this is now prophecy being fulfilled with John the Baptist from what Isaiah spoke about. So you go back to Isaiah
Right now.
just to get the precept. We're gonna go to Isaiah 40th chapter.
Right.
Third verse.
Okay, done.
Isaiah 40.
40 verse 3. The voice. Let me know y'all get it. In the back, in the back. Going the wrong way, baby. Oh, wait, Doc.
So I'm trying to find it.
Put your bookmarker right there. Okay, on a piece of paper. Hey, come here for a minute. What's the name? Aurora. What's the name? Okay, get that shit on. Get that piece of paper to that man right there. Yeah, keep going.
289.
And put that in your bookmarker so you know what over your page at.
Okay, thank you.
Give me that back when it's in the class.
Okay.
All right, Isaiah 40, verse 3. The voice of him that cried in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of, let me turn the page, the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough place plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it.
All right, start right there. So this is now fulfillment in John, which was written by the prophet Isaiah pertaining to his coming, right? So this is what he came and said when he was in the wilderness,
Right.
to fulfill that which was written of him.
It'd be your bookmarker, man. That's what I gave you space for.
You stopped at verse 5. Okay.
Yes. Stop. That's one of your books, so you know where the text is. That's just for. So they're in the front of your book, so you know where the index is. Just grab the thing. Sorry about that.
No. That's why I'm trying to help them out.
That'll be your bookmark. Put it right there so it's sticking out.
You wanted to stick out a little bit. Yeah, the top. Yep.
Okay, back to Luke.
All right, so now we're back in Luke 3rd chapter.
Verse 5. We go to 6. Amen.
I'm gonna read. I read verse 6, but I'm gonna read it again.
Okay.
So verse 6 says, "And all flesh shall see the salvation of God." Right? It said, "Then said he to the multitude that came forth to be baptized of him." This is John now as he's speaking. A lot of people is coming. Then it says, "O generation of vipers, who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come." So you got a group of people that's coming to be baptized. Then as you read it, you think John start wilding out, calling them all vipers. But he's speaking to a targeted group. He's speaking to a targeted group. So link this with Matthew's, the 3rd chapter. Matthew, the 3rd chapter. I'm going to start at verse 5. Matthew 3 and 5.
Matthew 3 and 5. One book back. All right, Matthew 3, 5. Then went out of him Jerusalem and all Judah and all regions around about Jordan, and were baptized of him in Jordan, confessing their sins. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees came to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who has warned you to flee from the wrath to come?
So this is where now we find out who is he speaking to, because over there it just said a multitude came forth. And he said the same thing, a generation of vipers who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come, right? Here it says Pharisees and Sadducees that came, and he said this to them and called them vipers, right? A viper is a what?
Snake.
It's like a snake, right? So keep in mind, these men were called vipers, right? Later on, you'll read in Matthew's, the 23rd chapter, the 33rd verse, Christ calls them serpents and vipers, another form of a snake, right? Serpents and vipers, right? So this kind of also gets in tune when we read in the beginning, when the serpent beguiled Eve, right? Folks thinking of an actual snake slithered up. Right. This is now a serpent being in reference to an actual individual. Right. Now, again, making sure we understand and pay attention to time context, because I believe when we get further in Numbers with Balak and Balaam, and I think he's riding on an ass, right? And the angel is in the way, and then he can't see the angel, right, but the animal could see the angel, and he's trying to get it to go, and then the animal had to do what? Let him know, like, see what's going on there, right? So it's not to say that the Most High can't do certain things, allow certain things to transpire, but it's all in context, right? So as we read this, we'll see that Yahushua, John the Baptist, and others, you read in the Old Testament, they were called serpents, right? In the Psalms and in Job, certain men were called these same types of animals based on the manner in which how they dealt with people. The things that they would say, the deceit and guile to cause them to say one thing and do another. Right. All right, so that was that was Matthew 3, 5 to 7. And then I just quoted Matthew 23, 33. Right. Where is my pen? Oh, here it is.
You say Matthew 22, 33?
23, 33. That all links with verse 7. So as I read it again in in Luke 3 and 7, it said, "Then said he to the multitude that came forth to be baptized of him, O generation of vipers, who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Bring forth therefore fruits worthy of repentance, and begin not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father. For I say unto you that Yahweh is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham." Right? So here is understanding the spirit that's in these men, right? Who is now giving you instruction to come and be baptized of me with the fruits and the works that you're doing. Because these men didn't have the right spirit. They're there, but they're there for under other false pretenses, right? They're there for false pretenses. They didn't believe in the teachings that John was doing or the teaching that Yahushua did. So that's why John came and said, bring forth therefore fruits worthy of repentance. Because you saying one thing, you appearing here, but your actions and your deeds speak otherwise, right? That's why when Zakar was talking about his friend, and he asked him if you change his life and you get yourself right with God, can he be accepted? Right. Well, it's just not wordplay. You got to show it, right? You got to show it continuously, right? So this is what he threw on them. It was like, it wasn't to say that, oh, that's impossible for one who was a Pharisee to make it to the kingdom, because Paul was, right? So it was to say that if that's the case, you got to bring forth fruits worthy of repentance. And don't stand by it because you believe in Abraham, the patriarchs. That's not good enough, because he can bring forth many others that come violent if he chose to. Now it's on you to make sure you do the right thing, not just word, but actions. Because what's going to happen is this, verse 9. And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. Every tree, therefore, which bringeth not forth good fruit, is hewn down and cast into the fire. So when you, as someone who tills the ground, and you go and you start observing trees, and you see that the tree ain't bringing forth good fruit, it's unprofitable. So what's your next instinct to do? You're going to go chop it down and get rid of it, taking up space. I can go chop it down, root it up, and plant another good tree in its place. I ain't gonna let that one just sit there in my doggone vineyard and not bring forth good fruit. So that's what he's saying. Now the axe is being laid at the fruit of the root of the tree to make sure that it's bringing forth good fruit. So the Most High first is spiritually choosing those who was going to bring forth good fruit. That's what Christ said when you're reading the gospel. He says, "Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that your fruit should remain." That you got to go and bring forth fruit and it should remain. So we're like trees. You got to go plant a seed to bring forth good fruit. If you ain't planting forth good seed and bringing forth good fruit, you unprofitable. I'm chopping you down and moving you out the way. We're going to put real pastors in that place. We're going to put real priests in there and remove them out of the way. So now that was going to start to happen. That's why John was coming in. Now the people was going to get real teachers. Then Yahushua came in. They got the ultimate teacher. Then he was going to leave a whole host of teachers for them throughout the generations that they can now go and get real good seed from. Okay. Right? These other ones, they're going to start being dealt with. But the Most High and Yahushua was going to start raising up real teachers. Right. What's that verse? Give me a second. It's one of the new in the Old Testament. I'll find it. So reading on, verse 10, and the people asked him, saying, "What shall we do then?" Right? So now you have the rest of the congregation that's there in the midst where the Pharisees and Sadducees is there. So now they're questioning, asking for guidance and instruction. What do we need to do in order to make sure that our fruit is good fruit? What do we need to do in order to conduct ourselves in a manner that is becoming of a servant of the Most High, right? It says in verse 11, he answered and said unto them, "He that have 2 coats, let him impart to him that have none. And he that have meat, let him do likewise," right? So if you got multiple coats or resources and you have someone who's lacking and doesn't have any, impart to him. You got food and this person ain't got no food, help him and feed him. Remember, Yahushua said that when they asked him about if he fed them, and he said, "Listen, if you fed to the littlest one of them, you gave them food, you fed me. If you clothed him, you fed me. Don't look to just do it to me. If you do it to any one of those who was out, as it's the same as if you did it to me," right? So this is what now John is given the same wisdom to go and make sure you impart resources, food, whatever it is that you can to those who have a need. That's what your orders do. Go to James, 2nd chapter. James 2. And 14. I think you went outside the Walker system. So Isaiah, it's like James 2:15. I'm sorry, James 2:14. Just going to link up with verse 11.
Okay.
2:14. So in James 2:14, it says, what doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and have not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit? Even so, faith, it have not works, is dead, being alone. So it's the same thing where John is giving advice. If you have 2 coats and your brother or sister has none, give to him that's destitute and without. Right? Help him out. Or food, or whatever it is that that person may be need or the necessity of, help that person out. What good is your faith to say that, yeah, I believe in God, but you don't show forth the works or the fruits of you being a godly person? Right? God is just not one where you just love him and that's just it. That's why Christ came and said the 2 greatest commandments is what? Love the Most High with all your heart, soul, and mind. And what was the second one? The second one was what? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Right? Now you got to go and not just deal with the Most High alone. Now you got to go deal with the rest of the brothers, the rest of the nation. That's the 2 greatest. If you can't do those 2, then something's wrong, because everything else after that falls into place. Everything after that falls in. That's why Yahushua made those the 2 greatest commandments. You got the hand up?
Yeah, when people walk up to you,
yeah.
I'm just talking to them saying something. Okay, when people walk up to you in the street, right, you about look at a person. No, man. Because I know what you about to go and do. No. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean?
As far as what, helping them out?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
Somebody asks you, can I get $5, maybe not one? One of them, no, you can't get no $5 from that. Yeah, no, come on now. The other day, the dude hit me like that. No, come on, please, I'm talking like you is. I'm chewing gum. No. So really, that's why I asked that. No.
Well, it's kind of hard to be trusting people.
30, 50 cents. They got the hand all tight up. No. He trying to go get them for no. I don't even see you.
It's kind of hard, Samad.
It is.
That's why it says in Ecclesiasticus 12:1, when thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it. Yeah. So shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits, right? So you got to know the spirit that's on that person. That's why it sometimes also says, try the spirit by the spirit. Yeah, right? So the person asks you for money for food.
Yo, come on, let me buy it for you.
Yeah, I go get it for like, nah, I don't need it. I don't need it. Yeah.
You eat out of it now.
Yeah. Then it's like, all right, well, then you don't want to eat. If I'm going to take you there and I get you some food, you would be happy you get the food regardless of the money. All your whole objective is to get food. But if you down nonsense, it's like, all right, no, he has alternative. He has ulterior motives. Right, he has ulterior motives that he want to use that for. He want to probably go get something different that he don't want to reveal. You're using that as the front. Right? So yeah, you're absolutely right. You should do good to those who are in need, but those who are honest and sincere in their need. Right? Not someone who's lying and being deceitful. And sometimes you as an individual trying to help them out, you got to go through your own due diligence to make sure that this person is on the up and up. You know?
Well, like a lot of people that be asking on the subway.
Yeah.
Like on the subway, be asking. Begging people on the subway. Basically, there's been a lot of Edomites on here. Edomites that be begging, and some of your own kind.
Right. Okay, I respect that.
I'm just sorry for them. All you get out of my face, where I look at them.
Not too much don't speak to me at all. Esau? Yeah, no, don't too much speak to me at all either.
So I look at them real funny. Thank you. You be right there all
yeah, they be begging in a really submissive type way too.
Yeah, they do. But I feel no pity for them. No pity for Esau.
So you can also write down 1 John 3:17.
You finished with Mr. James?
Yeah.
verse 12.
1 John 3:17 to 19.
17 to 19.
So it says in 1 John 3:17, but whoso hath this world's good and seeth his brother have need and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of God in him? Right? If you have world's good, you've been blessed with certain things, and then you see someone have need, and your compassion is just shut off, where you don't have compassion for your brother.
Right.
How can you love the Most High?
True.
Right? Verse 18, my little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. Right? It says, and hereby we know that we are of the truth and shall assure our hearts before him. Right? So that's how you confirm yourself before the Most High, when you act upon goodly things that you need to do for brothers and sisters. Right? So we can stop there on that. So that was 1 John 3:17 all the way to 19. Come
No thing like when you would be, begging, for some change, right?
Right.
But sometimes when your mind, some people just don't want to take that chance with it. You don't know what they might do.
Right.
You pull out $1, you don't know what they might do. Attention is.
Right. And that's why I said you got to try the spirit by the spirit. We in the world grew up in an environment where, Jacob as a whole on the norm, we're keen on, trying to take advantage or trying to get the best of, or figuring out a way to get the upper hand or get what we want.
Right.
So that's why Christ said, be wise as a serpent or harmless as a dove. So the same way we used to use all of that head game and everything else we use in the world, you know what your people is about, and you know how they operate.
Right.
So you got to be able to think like how they think, but in the righteous sense. Right? So someone comes for you and asking you for certain things. I know I got friends and family members who do this for this reason. So in order to assure myself that him or her ain't doing it, I'm going to ask them a question, or I'm going to do this and see what their response is.
Okay.
Right? Taking point when Solomon had to decide between the women who had that one child when the woman babies died, and then they brought them before Solomon because she was saying that was her child. And then Solomon figuring out that, listen, the spirit behind a real mother ain't going to want to see no harm come to her child regardless.
Right. So
Solomon threw out there and said, all right, since both y'all arguing about this baby, let's cut the baby down the middle. You get half, you get half. Well, that meant that you was going to kill the baby.
Right.
So the mother said, nah, that ain't going to happen. She can take it. Well, the other one was like, okay, fine, I'm going to take the baby. Solomon knew just off the spirit of things, just like how a mother's nurturing heart is, that if that mother was willing to allow that baby to die, that ain't her child.
That ain't her child.
Right? This one, even though it is her child, she was cool with letting that child go and be with the other mother, just as long as it's alive. She'll still get to see her baby and everything else.
Right.
So you got to play with spirits. You got to not only play, but you got to question spirits, see their motives, their objectives, their intentions on why they want to do things. That's why when you say, hey, I'll go buy you some food, but they say, nah, just give me the money. Well, right at the bat, you kind of got a red flag up about their intentions. Right? It's like, yo, I can go right here. I can get whatever you want. Like, nah, just give me the 5. The 5? You limiting yourself now. I can get you a whole platter that's $13 and a drink. You still gonna need more. Nah, that's cool. Just give me the 5. I'll take care of myself. Okay, your intentions ain't right. If your whole objective is to eat,
go ahead and eat.
Right. So you now, as a person, you have to come up with different ways. Like even your Howard shop.
Right.
When you see how he dealt with the Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes, they came with different questions, pointed, right? Trying to catch him up. But what did he do? He said, okay, fine. I'm going to throw this back at him and see how they're going to deal with that or how they're going to handle that, right? To expose their intentions and their motives.
Right.
So Daniel was the same way. A lot of men did these things in order to either confirm or validate if that person's intentions were sincere or if they came with ulterior motives. So we just can't go off the cuff and say, yeah, well, I'm an Israelite, I got this, I'm just going to give it to everybody. No, because now you're helping and aiding someone who's out there doing sinful, wicked deeds. And you are now a conspirator to that.
Right.
You don't want to suffer sin upon somebody. He about to go take that and do some dirt with it. Right. You being ignorant doesn't know what he was doing because you didn't go to the next level to find out what they really wanted.
Right.
Right. So sometimes that can come back on you, not because that was your intentions, because you didn't do what you needed to do to fulfill what it's saying. Know to whom thou doest good. You didn't even know that person, you're just giving them to him.
Right.
That's like somebody saying, can I borrow your car? All right, here, there you go.
Hey, put some gas in the food.
You don't hardly want to give your car to your own family members.
Yeah, right.
Right? Because you don't want them to go and deal with your property a certain way. Right? So it's the same thing. When you've been given worldly goods, make sure you find out who that person is and what their intentions are before you just give over anything to them and they do something wrong.
Right.
Wait, explain, man.
Yeah. Like years back, it was this black guy. He used to be on the subway, and he wore like like old clothes. He will be on the subway every day, begging people for money.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, I got off the subway with the dude. I walked towards the same street. This guy, a guy on the subway, went to the brand new Cadillac, opened it up, changed his clothes, and got in it.
Oh yeah.
It was on
I said, this guy's trying to
on that movie. On the movie, Don't Drink Your Juice and what's that place in California? He was standing outside Vegas. He went around the corner and flipped the books and
yeah, this guy's the same thing. He got the same thing.
Oh man.
I think that's the way this guy makes his money.
Yeah.
Skin on
Yeah. People feel sorry for you.
Sorry for you.
Yeah, walking around, pushing a brand new Lexus around.
Yeah, brand new Cadillac.
He took back. Damn money on you.
Change his clothes and everything.
Yeah. Going to TD Bank getting his money.
Yeah.
You do come here every day. Walking out
Every
there,
day.
bad and shit.
God.
He might have had on glasses like he was blind.
Right.
I walk into a car, put the key right in this. Oh, y'all rough.
Charles, I said, look at this guy.
There's a lot of scam artists out here.
Man,
You right.
man, you don't know.
Scam artists behind the pulpit.
You're right.
That's
That's
true.
true.
Oh,
Right. Especially behind the pulpit.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all seen this brother Killer Mike has this thing on Netflix, a series. I forget the name of the series, but on one of the episodes, he goes and deals with the church, and he goes and deals with Creflo Dollar, and he goes to his church, and then after the church, he have a sit down with him and said, "Look, I want to get a new Jesus, like, because this Jesus that you teaching out here, this white, that ain't the one. We need one for us, for black folks." Right. So yeah. So then Creflo kind of admitted and was like, "Yo, but that's what they did." And like he said it kind of like low when you watching it, and you say, and then as you watching it, you saying to yourself, "But you're not telling the people that, right? You saying it to him as far as for what this type of a Jesus is and what it represents, and you blaming who did it, but you're not telling the audience of who that is and who did it." But yet and still they're following that belief and that tradition. So he came with the intention like, listen, forget that. We need our own Jesus. We need one that represents black folk, right? And then he started describing, he said his skin was like brass and bronze and everything. Like, that's the one we need. Yeah. But it exposed Creflo to showing that he was following that agenda, but not conveying the message of what it is to the people and having them follow him on blind faith, so that they don't understand what it is. And his execution, the brother's execution, that was as radical as all hell. But I understood what his premise, his motive was. He already had it here. It was just the teaching that was just wrong, right? And he wanted to kind of show or get black people on board with a positive representation of what Jesus looked supposed to be.
It was a good time. That's when I found out Jesus was black.
Yeah.
My grandma made me go get that Bible, boy, and made me read it. You see that? So he's been black.
He's been black.
Our color, black. We want that color now. What was our more quiet? No, he's talking about black right there. With wool hair, red eyes. Yeah, he been drinking. Because he made wine when he ran out of wine. Boy, I need a friend like that. Can you make some mad dogs for tell a boy while I was
All right, so we finished. Yeah, did we finish that? Read all the way to 19. Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's go back to Luke 3.
Okay. I have a story with it.
So Luke 3, where do we leave off at? We left off at verse.
12.
Right, we at 12 now. It says, then came also publicans to be baptized. Publicans is what?
The public, like state representatives and type people.
Mm-mm.
The people in the street there.
Mm-mm. It's a simple. What did you say? There you go. Tax collectors. Right.
Oh, okay. Let me write that down. Good talking, right? So that's a taxpayer?
Tax collector.
Oh, tax collector. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the tax collector.
Tax
I try to say
collector.
Remember, we read in the first chapter in Luke the 2nd chapter how Caesar Augustus started taxation, right? So now, keep in mind how this works. You got tax collectors that spread throughout their whole empire.
Right.
Right. So then the Romans was ruling, but you had order. You had like a hierarchy. So you now not only had your people who went around and do tax collectors, but you would also hire people from within that own nation that you wanted to collect their taxes. Right. Okay. Right. So now you got Israelites who are tax collectors, such as what we're reading. Right. Matthew was a tax collector. Yeah. Right. He was a tax collector. So now him being a tax collector, of course, didn't rub everybody the right way. That's why we went to Acts, the 5th chapter, and we read about someone who started an insurrection behind the taxes, and he died. Him and the people that followed him died, right? So tax collecting is the same as right now. When you got to pay taxes, you kind of a little slow to the draw on wanting to pay taxes or give up your money, your hard-earned money to the government, and you don't know what they're going to do with your money, right? You wondering what they do with your 30-40% of your money, and you ain't seeing nothing good happening within your community. I'm paying my state tax and my federal tax, but I ain't seeing no benefit in my community. Where's it all going? Why this ain't done? How that school closing down? I put money in. I'm paying taxes here. Why that ain't staying? Why that sustaining itself? Where the books at? Where the food stores going? Like where the good food is? They paying tax. We paying taxes. So you don't know where that money's going. So sometimes people feel away. So somebody come knocking on your door asking for that money. You can't get out of here, right? So you're not well received by everybody, right? So, but here's the publican coming to get baptized, right? He got sins too. He got a heart too. He want to make it to the kingdom, but this is a profession that he's doing. That's not well looked upon. So it says, then came also publicans to be baptized, and he said unto him, Master, what shall we do? Right? And he said unto them, exact no more than that which is appointed you. Right? Because taxing back then is a little bit different from now, right? They made money, they went and took certain portions, but then they would also tax on top, right? You supposed to pay me 30. Well, you know that they're supposed to give 30, but then you come and ask for 40. Yeah, but that still goes on now. It's like when I used to go out partying, going to different clubs and stuff, and you got somebody at the door collecting the money. Right? And you say, how much is to get in? 30. Like $30, but you want to get in so bad. You're like, all right, I'll pay the 30. It was really only 10. You don't know, right? They making money off you at the door, right? that's exactly more than what's appointed or required of you. You take advantage of the people to make money for your to fill your own pockets. So tax collectors fell into that same boat because now they're the authority figure to come and collect this money, right? The Romans knew how much money they were supposed to be brought back because everybody did a census and they was accounted for. So now you're supposed to go collect this money. It's like, all right, you're supposed to come back for where you got to go. You need 200 pence or whatever the Roman currency was. 200 supposed to come back, but you done collected 420. You're going to get them there 200, but you're going to keep 220 because you finagled the doggone system. So that's why John is saying, look, exact no more than that which is appointed you, right? Don't take no more than was appointed you. He didn't say that job that you're doing, working for them, that's a wicked behind job. He just says you in this position, don't do outside of what your bounds is, right? Take what's only appointed you to take and then go do works fruitful for the Most High and Yahushua, right? Then it says in verse 14, and the soldiers likewise demanded of him, saying, what shall we do? So we now also have people who are military, police officers, this, that, and the third, working for the system, right? Police officers don't get a good rap. Same thing with tax collectors. Police officers is viewed at a certain way, or military people is viewed a certain way, right? So now they come and asking John, well, what do we need to do, right? It says, and he said unto them, do violence to no man, neither accuse any falsely, and be content with your wages, right? So check that out. So now this is going into the whole psyche and breakdown of how you look at police officials or military or whatever, right? Don't do violence to nobody, meaning don't go out there and harm somebody that is not meant for you to harm. Like, you don't even need to do that. Sometimes you see these viral videos of a police officer talking to a young person. I watched it one the other day. The cop is talking to someone. He grabbed the girl by the head and threw her on the table. And everybody like, yo, what's up with that? That wasn't called for. They talking verbally, and he done grabbed her by the head and slammed her down on the desk, right? So then what happens is the people who see this, they now, of course, going to get a bad image or bad respect for police officers in general. So now he's like, look, don't do violence to no person, meaning you should not have it in your heart that now you want to just off the cuff, just go out there because of your position. Some people get the, they got the badge on, their chest is out, they got the gun in their hip, they got the law behind them, they got the shield behind them. They can do whatever they want, and they ain't gonna hardly get nothing done to them. Don't take that attitude. Go do no violence. Then he said, don't accuse nobody falsely, because sometimes there's a lot of cover-ups, right? Some people do certain things and they hide behind the shield or the oath or whatever, and they'll go and accuse somebody else when it was really his fault. They put somebody else on the stand, don't even need to be there because they on board done did something wrong. They covering his behind and now putting this person in jail or prison for something he or she didn't even do. So he said, don't even do that, right? Then it says, and be content with your wages, right? Because as that person who's an official, you have ranking and you have the opportunity to go and take people's money, right? Or to do certain things. Yeah, to do certain things where you can come up on the come up, right? It ain't got to be money. It could be resources, wealth, property, whatever. Because you thinking that I should make this amount of money, so I'm going to go do that in order to sustain myself, fulfill that desire that I want. Nah, don't do that. So still be in that profession, but this is how you have to conduct yourself, right? Verse 15, and as the people were in expectation, and all the men mused in their hearts of John, whether he were the Christ or the anointed or not, right? So as people listening to John, John got a lot of wisdom with him. Remember, the angel told Elizabeth, and the angel told Zacharias that he was going to be moved with the Spirit from the womb. So as he was growing up, he was filled with wisdom. The angels came and ministered him to build him up. So now when he not to speak, people now like, yo, I think he the one. I think he the one that was foretold to come, right? So they're musing about him, about how he's operating, right? Verse 16, John answered, saying unto them all, I indeed baptize you with water, but one mightier than I cometh, the latchet of whose shoes I am not worthy to unloose. he shall baptize you with the Holy Ghost and with fire. So as they're musing about if he's the one, ask him if he's the one, he stops him and say, look, I ain't the one. The guy that's going to come after me, I ain't even worthy to stoop down and to tie his shoes. He going to baptize you like this. I'm doing it like this, but he going to do it like this. So he's letting it known, I ain't the one. I'm going to tell you about the one that's coming. Verse 17, whose fan is in his hand, who will thoroughly purge his floor and will gather the wheat into his garner, but the chaff he will burn with fire unquenchable. So Yahushua has the ability or the power and authority to sift through those who is righteous, bring all the righteous up with him, and the chaff that's unrighteous, that's unprofitable, gets done what? Burned up, right? The unprofitable wheat, the unprofitable grain gets destroyed. The one that's good, he takes that and puts that in the barn. That's what Yahushua is going to do. So that's what John is alluding to here when he says he will thoroughly purge his floor and will gather the wheat into his garner or the storehouse, but the chaff, the refuse, the unprofitable one, he will burn with fire unquenchable. This is talking about people. Verse 18, and many other things in his exhortation preached he unto the people. So John was a good brother. He was a good speaker, a good teacher, right? A good orator, someone who can break certain things down and guided the people. So that's why Yahushua said, there's no greater man than John. What was you looking for? John was on point, but John wasn't always received by everybody in the manner in which he should have been received. And Yahushua gave him his props. Verse 19, but Herod the Tetrarch, being reproved by him for Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, and for all the evils which Herod had done, added yet to this above all, that he shut up John in prison, right? So what happened with John and Herod? Who remembers what happened with John and Herod? He got his head chopped off, but what led to that? Right. Herod was messing with his brother Philip's wife, right? Remember, we read in the beginning of this chapter that Herod was tetrarch over one realm. His brother Philip was tetrarch over another realm. His brother Philip had a wife that Herod was messing with. John knew about it. John got on him about it publicly, right? And what happened? He ain't like that. And then found opportunity to do what? Put him up in prison. And then he had a banquet with his wife's daughter, well, the chick Herodias' daughter, and then made a plea as far as for giving her the half of the king, whatever she wanted, and she asked for John's head on a charger, right? And that's how John, while he was in prison, went and killed him because of this thing that there was going on, this adultery that was going on between Herod and his brother's wife. So he had to die for this wickedness that they was doing, right? So that's what it was talking about. Herod the Tetrarch being reproved by him, being by John, for Herodias, his brother Philip's wife.
All those people were white.
Right. Yeah. Herod, Philip, Herodias.
So that tell you the law don't bend, but don't mean.
No. But that tell you, but that's this here is not shocking because this stuff still goes on right now. This type of stuff still goes on right now. When if you watch some if you pay attention to some of the shows that they have on that kind of highlight or imitate what goes on in government, they do this. They show the same thing, right? They show all this same crazy Greek type lifestyle, but now in a up-to-date fashion. It's the same thing. What is that? There's another one they have on Netflix, popular, but it kind of fell down because the main character was molesting underage boys or something like that. I forget the name of the show. But they show you the same thing. These women going around sleeping and dealing with other men, and the men know about it, and they going and doing their own thing. It's just You know, when you have power and opportunity, it's a lot of things that they just allow to go on. And then you'll have someone who come up and say, that's not right. That's wicked, right? And then they try to expose it, you want to keep that in the hush. So what happens? Something happens to somebody and they just don't know. It just happens quietly. A plane mysteriously just crashes, or a person's getting in a car accident, or the person just dies, and they're, you know, you're like, well, hold on. They was just involved with this. All of a sudden now he dead. What happened? Right? Yeah. So we see John, stuff happened with John the same way. Right? So if you want to read that story, you can write down Mark 6, 17 to verse 29. Right, so that gives with the whole story on John the Baptist, Herod, and Herodias. Mark 6, verses 17 to 29.
Who is Herodias?
Herodias is Philip's wife.
Oh, okay.
Herod's brother's wife, his sister-in-law.
That's 17 to 29?
17 to 29.
Okay.
In Mark, okay. Go back. You catch one of that people. I just fell asleep. Okay, yeah. Here we go.
So we're back in Luke 3,
Mm-hmm.
and we're at verse. What verse we at? We have verse 20. It says, added yet this above all, that he shut up John in prison. Now when all the people were baptized, it came to pass that Yahushua, Jesus also being baptized and praying, the heaven was open, and the Holy Ghost descended in a bodily shape like a dove upon him, and a voice came from heaven which said, thou art my beloved son, in thee I am well pleased. Right? So, who remembers why Yahushua got baptized for John, or of John? I think it was
I know because I've said it before, reading before. We all here, we just can't answer the whole one.
That's a good question. Why did he get baptized?
Why did, because remember when Yahushua came to get baptized from John didn't want to do it. And then John said, I have need to be baptized with thee. And then Yahushua told him to go through with it because things needed to be fulfilled.
Oh, right.
Or the violence of man?
No, but John, he didn't want to do it at first, did he?
He didn't want to do it, but go to John, the 1st chapter, just in case you forgot. Go to John, the 1st chapter.
John. 1 John or John?
St. John.
Next chapter. Next chapter, turn the pages.
St. John 1, and
Oh, I got it.
I'm going to read from
29. Oh,
32 to 34.
okay.
132, 34.
Come.
Okay. Want to get it?
Come.
And John.
Hold on. St. John 1, 32 to 34.
Where's John 32?
St. John.
Saint, okay. Why you say St. John?
Because when you say 1 John, that's a different John. Right? If you can say 1 John, then I'm going to go to the book of 1 John. If you say St. John, then I'm going to deal with the one that's in the gospel.
So you know what I've been doing? If I hear you say John, I know I go to this John. But if you say 1 John, then I go to the back.
Right.
Okay, so you say St. John.
St. John.
Okay.
Right.
And John bear record saying, I saw the Spirit descending from heaven like a dove, and it abided to him.
Right. So this is he's speaking about the same thing that we just read here about the dove descending upon Yahweh. So John saying, I saw it, right? Read.
And I knew him not, but he that sent me to baptize with water, the same said to me, upon whom thou shalt see the Spirit descending and remaining on him, the same as he was baptized with the Holy Ghost.
Okay. I want to see if somebody can pick out the answer. The answer is right in that verse of why Yahweh Shah had to get baptized of John.
So John saw what happened to him.
He saw what happened to him, but it's something in there. Why did Yahweh Shah have to get baptized by John?
Everybody that he was following behind being baptized. So everybody was following behind the baptism just like everybody else was.
So I'm going to read this 33rd verse again. It says, and I knew him not, but he that sent me to baptize with water. Who sent John to baptize? The Most High, right?
Most High,
So Most High sending John to baptize with water. He says, now, as the Most High sending John to baptize with water, he further goes in. He says, the same said unto me, upon whom thou shalt see the Spirit descending and remaining on him, the same is he which will baptize with the Holy Ghost. So in order for John to see this happening, guess what has to happen? He got to baptize him first.
Oh,
Who
okay.
told him to do this? The Most High.
Most High.
Right? This is going to be confirmation of who the Lamb of God is. Right? So now even here comes strolling up Yahweh Shah, and he know it. He's starting to see the Spirit. He's like, I should be baptizing you. You don't need to baptize. I should be baptizing you. And he was like, look, you got to go through it so that the scriptures, so that prophecy can be fulfilled. Because if he don't do it, then what the Most High said was going to happen can't happen now. Right? Because now that whole ordeal has to have Yahweh Shah being baptized for the dove to descend. And then the Most High will come and say, this is my son in whom I'm well pleased. If Yahweh Shah doesn't get baptized, how can that be done now? Right? No. So then it says, as you read on, and I saw and bear record, this is the Son of God. Right? So now once it happened, he now saw it, fulfilled it. Others is there, they seeing it. Now they can now say, yup, this is Son of God. You know how? I even heard him come and speak because the Most High came and spake and said, this is my son. Right? Hear he him. Right? So these events have to happen in order for fulfillment of prophecy. Now, he didn't have to be baptized by John if the Most High never told John that that was going to happen. Right? But now since the Most High instructed him to go and do this, then the Most High said, when this thing happens, know that that's the Son. Okay. Oh, snap. There you go. Yo, that's the Christ. I'm about to get the Spirit put on me. He going to baptize me. John, you got to baptize. Nah, man, I don't need to be baptizing you. I want to get that thing you got. Right? Nah, you got to do this. You got to fulfill what the Father said was supposed to happen. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You're right. He that told me this said you was going to come and I got to do this. So that's why it had to happen. It wasn't that any other thing or some crazy old thing. No, you had to fulfill prophecy. That's why the Pharisees and the Sadducees not believing on Yahweh Shah.
Right.
Sister Khadijah brought it out because if they did believe on him and you had no oppositions against Yahweh Shah, then he wouldn't come and be the sacrificial lamb. Right? There would be no one to oppose him to crucify him on the cross. So he had to have accusers. He had to have false witnesses to go and now fulfill those things. Prophecy. Because that was already told of in the Old Testament that he was going to be the sacrifice for his people.
And he knew it.
And he knew it. Right? So these events have to go on because it was already said to happen. So the Most High says, my word shall not go out void. He couldn't have told him and then it don't happen. Right? Most High is the one that's in control of all of this. We are his creation for his muse, not the other way around. Right?
I got that written down on the side.
That's what brings you to the question
if he do all that, when he got locked up, where he lost his faith,
Who?
and asked John, he lost his faith and asked, you know, is this Jesus? Where he just lost his faith for a split second when he said, is this the Messiah?
Who? What are you talking about?
When John was locked up in jail, and he sent his disciples to see if Jesus was really the Son of God.
You gotta give me find that verse.
You don't remember that?
No, find that. If you find that verse.
I like him. No.
Yeah, I don't remember that verse.
We just talked about it like a month ago.
No.
You don't remember when we talked about it? No.
Yeah, just show me the verse. We could. I don't know.
I gotta find the verse.
Yeah,
let me just refresh you a little bit. When John the Baptist was locked up in jail, right, he sent two of his disciples to Jesus and asked him, "Are you the Messiah?" Because of all these things that was happening to him, we were saying like, "Why am I locked up in jail?"
I'm not. I want to see context. I want to see. I want to see something like that. But I want to see context if it's his doubt based on him being locked up or whatever. I want to see the context of the whole verse. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking to. I'm not, because I don't know if they doubting or if he doubting or, you know, if he assuming. So I want to make sure I get the context of that verse.
Okay. Because I say this to myself. All them guys got killed with Jesus. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, they all over killed. Somebody got turned upside down. And his head got cut off. Yeah. The main one right there. These 12 right here got killed. There was 12 of them, 8 of them in jail. Because when Jesus was getting killed, they was in, you know, standing there with their hoodies on.
Yeah, but they denied him too.
That was Peter.
Peter denied him. He told Peter that you were going to
deny me 3 times. He didn't use the N-word, he used Niger. You gonna do good. You allow. Hey, what's the word? What's that word, Shabbat? What's that word? Niger. N-I-G-G-A-D-R.
Not niggard. N-I-G-G-A-R-D.
All right. Well put, well put.
All right, so let's go back to Luke 3. And where I leave off?
You left off at 2:30. Wait, hold on. I'm with John. You left off at
23, 22.
Okay, now the Holy Ghost is seated in fire. Okay.
Right. It says, the Holy Ghost descended on him in a body shaped like a dove upon him, and a voice came from heaven which said, "Thou art my beloved Son, in thee I am well pleased," which we just read.
Right.
It says, and Jesus began to be about 30 years of age, being as was supposed the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli. Now, remember in the beginning, I said that Christ was 0 AD, right? That's the year in which we count. And that he was around during the time of Tiberius. So that's why sometimes it's good to understand time where folks come into power. That's why the Lord has it a lot, even in the Old Testament, in the books of the Maccabees, and even here in the New Testament, where it will chronicleize a person's reign, right? So when it says that Tiberius was in his 15th reign, Tiberius came into rulership around the ending of 14 AD, right? So now if he comes into power around 14, the ending of 14 AD, fast forward 15 years into his rulership, that would make Yahushua about what? 30 years old. That's why it says, and Yahushua began to be about 30 years of age. And it say he was 30 years, about 30 years, exactly, right? So now you get context. So you can use that time period to go and start looking at things that happened within Tiberius's rulership with Israel.
Right.
And then when you're reading those things, you're reading about Christ's time. He was present then. So those things would have affected him, right? So that's why always, even when we went back into Augustus Caesar and that person named Cyrenius, who was governor, if you go into the history about that man, they'll say, well, when he was governor, taxing didn't really come into play yet. right? So how is the Bible saying that during his rulership or his time as governor, taxing was going on? But then again, what they don't miss is when you go deeper into the whole process of it, it just wasn't one day or 1 year it happened. No, the infrastructure has to get set up, right? So you start getting the names and records and locations and residences of people, finding out what they do, how much they own, how much property they own, how much income they bring in. Then you start saying, okay, got it. Now I'm going to go out. You getting taxed 30, you getting taxed 10, you getting taxed this amount because it's based on what you have, right? It's a system of taxing you based on your income. So that took a while to get put in place. Now we're in the age where, you know, the system has advanced itself. So yeah, it's spread out. But back then at the inception, it didn't happen right away, right? So again, if you go and you do research and they say, oh, well, that's a lie in the Bible because it didn't happen right then and there. Listen, yeah, it didn't happen exactly at that time, but during his time, that's when the infrastructure of the taxation got put into place. That's when they did the census, and then that got started, right? So reading 23 again, and Yahushua began to be about 30 years of age, being as was supposed the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli, right? Well, Joseph's father, when you read it in Matthew's, ain't Heli, it's Jacob. Right? So this is another man that comes from out of Yahushua's family who is his father or grandfather, right? So you have two grandfathers, one on your father's side, one on your mother's side, right? So this man, Joseph, is not the son of that person, Heli, son-in-law or son by marriage, but not direct son, right? The direct son for Yahushua has to come from, like we mentioned, out of that lineage in Matthew's, because that's the king's lineage. The king's lineage, right? Kings always have to follow that lineage. Even when you start looking at some of these other groups, like they want to have a pure lineage. So they start marrying within their own direct family to keep the bloodline pure, right? Which according to the law, the Most High don't allow that. You can't marry your sister and do all these different things and try to in the auspices of making sure that the bloodline is pure as it can be in order to sit on the throne. No, right? The Most High allows your siblings, children's, right, cousins, but not direct pairings. No, that can't happen like that. Right? Not sisters and brothers, mothers and fathers, and no, none of that. But like we said before, even today, that law is still right? It's still a little because of how our society has been for so long. To say, yeah, you're going to go marry your cousin. Even a law where it says if a man has a wife and he dies before they have kids, that the man's brother is supposed to go raise up seed with that wife. That law would kind of be like, it wouldn't be widely accepted by the masses of people because it's not a culture that we have been brought up in. Right? A lot of the laws that we have are cultural. So that's why when you go out and look at some of the Middle Eastern or Asian customs that are kind of not westernized, they're totally different, right? Even how marriage is constructed is different from how it is over here because it's more cultural, right? And down to everything, not just from even the dress of the attire, down to the food, down to their worship, down to how they interact with different people. Right? Here, you just allow anything. Over there, you can't even wear a certain type of clothes coming into my country. Right? You can't even have your head open, women, if you come into my country. Right? You got to cover up and do all these things per how we live. So it's a cultural thing. So a lot of laws that we read about in the scriptures, it takes time for some people to accept it, right? Or to digest it. Not even accept it, but to digest it. Because like it told Ezekiel, you got to eat this word. You got to eat this law, right? Sometimes it take a while to swallow. They come down into your stomach and then digest, right? So here, this, when you look at it, is not the lineage on this side. It's the lineage on the other side, right? Because sometimes when they talk about son, aren't you the son of David? No, Joseph is not the direct son of David. Right? He's the grandson of David, but they just call him a son, right? So sometimes they leave out the great-grands and the in-laws. It'll just say son, right? So this here now is off of his mother's side, and how that family tree goes up to all the way, as we got to read up to Adam, right? This is a little bit more deep than what you read in Matthew's, because Matthew's goes as far as let me see. Matthew starts with Abraham, right? Matthew starts with Abraham. We're going to read in here that it's going to go to Abraham and beyond Abraham, right? This just started with Abraham because Abraham is looked at as the main patriarch of the nation, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as it pertains to, you know, what we teach. Even Yahweh Shah talks about the kingdom, how we're going to be in Abraham's bosom, right? It wasn't that the men before him who were righteous were not righteous. Noah was a righteous man, right? He did great things, but it's just dealing with Abraham. So now let's go back, Luke 3:23. And Yahweh Shah himself began to be about 30 years of age, being as was supposed the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli. So now this is we get into all these buns, the son of, right, son.
Which sword is called? Excuse me, I mean, like that.
Bayath.
Bayath.
Right. Yeah. In Hebrew.
Bayath. Okay.
Which was the son of Mathat, which is the son of Levi, not Levi from the priest, the tribes of Levi, but just another man named Levi, which was the son of Melchi, which was the son of Janah, which was the son of Joseph, which was the son of Mattathias. There's a lot of Mattats and Mattathiases in the scriptures. Popular name. Which was the son of Amos, which was the son of Nahum, which was the son of Elsli, which was the son of Nagji, which was the son of Ma'at, which was the son of Mattathias, this is Mattathias again, which was the son of Joseph, which was the son of Judah, right? So when you read throughout scriptures like this and in the Kings, you start to see the popular names within Israel, right? Levi is a popular name. Judah or Judas is a popular name. Joseph, Mattathias is a popular name. Mary is a popular name. Elizabeth is a popular name. You start to see those continuously when you read different scripts. It says, 26, which was the son of Ma'at, which was the son of Mattathias, which was the son of Semei, which was the son of Joseph, which was the son of Judah. You got some questions? I'm making a point.
No.
It says, which was the son of Joanna, like Joanna, but Joanna, which was the son of Rase, which was the son of Zerubbabel, which was the son of Salatiel, which is the son of Neri, which was the son of Melchi, which was the son of Adai, which is the son of Qasim, which is the son of Elmadam, which is the son of 29, which is the son of Josi, which is the son of Eleazar, popular name, which is the son of Joram, which is the son of Mathat, right? So it is again, Mathat, verse 29.
M-A-T-T?
M-A-T-T-H-A-T. Same thing that was in verse 24. Mathat. Which was the son of Levi. So here it is. You got Levi's name in the tribe of Judah. So this is, joined to the Most High. So again, the literal meaning of the name is what people liked, right? Lawyer, right? You had the whole tribe named Lawyer, but I like the name. I want my son to be joined to the Most High, right? Verse 30, which was the son of Simeon, right? Same thing, another tribe named Simeon. They named their son of that, which was the son of Judah, popular name, Judas, which was the son of Joseph. There you go again. That's a man from from Ephraim, which is the name of Jonan, which is the son of Elakam, which was the son of Meleah, which is the son of Minan, which is the son of Mattatha, which is the son of Nathan, which was the son of David, right? So here we get to David. right? So now we get in this verse, we get to David. David, of course, being the first king of the nation of Israel on the Judean lineage, right? From Judah. Started with Benjamin. Most High took away from Benjamin because Saul was wicked. And then he gave it to David, who's from the tribe of Judah, and said that there shall not fail to sit a king on the throne. That has to come out of Judah from that lineage. So now this son, Nathan, again, is one of David's sons, right? He had more than just Solomon and Nathan. He had other ones, right? Absalom and so, but he was not the one who was given the name or the title of king. Remember, his other brother wanted king, right? He went and crowned himself king. And then Solomon's mother went to David while he was on his bed, sit, and said, look, you got to nominate, you got to anoint a king, because you got one of the other sons over there saying that he king. They done had a banquet and a party and everything. Then they went and he anointed Solomon king, and they had the priest there, right? Gave him his signet and everything. Then they went and had a major public thing about Solomon being king, and then his brother felt fearful because now, you know, that's kind of like an insurrection. When someone says they're going to be king and they're not really king, and then you have someone over here, the one is thinking that, oh, he may think that I'm out to kill him, or there's going to be some type of thing to get me out the way. So what is exactly? So what is normally what happen? You go get rid of them. You got some people right now in some of these third world countries, or these not even third world countries, countries in general, when they're running for political office, and you have opposing teams, opposing parties, and then someone now usurps authority over the other, they go and send their people to go and not just get them out of office, they start killing, right? So that there's no retribution or someone coming back to get revenge, or, you know, settle in the mud for a while to get up their own party to come back and overthrow. So they go get them out of the way, right? So they thought that was going to happen back then, or his brother thought that was going to happen back then. But, you know, Most High had a lot of things going on with David's family because of what David did, right? But it stops right here. You can see it gets to David. Now from here on, it's exactly the same as what you'll read in Matthew's, the first chapter, from David all the way to Abraham, right? It's a direct match from Luke 3:32. It's the same thing in reverse. From Matthew's 1, 6 in reverse. So if you go from Matthew's 1 and 6 backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to Abraham, it's going to be the same as what we're reading here forward.
You did this in January.
Yeah. Well, not January. I think this was about a couple months. Yeah.
1919.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, those names, if you took the time, you'll match them up. They all the same. All right. So I'm going to read verse 32. Which was the son of Jesse, which was the son of Obed, which was the son of Boaz. It says Boaz, but it's Boaz, which is the son of Salmon, which is the son of Naason, which is the son of Amminadab, which was the son of Aram, which is the son of Esrom, which is the son of Phares, which was the son of Judah. I think when you read it in Matthew's, it even goes into his brother. When you read in, no, it's the one. Yeah, Judah, it mentions Phares and Zerah of the woman Thamar, right? Here it just says Phares, but it talks about the two brothers. But they don't really care about Zerah. That's why when you read Matthew's 1 and 3, it says, and Judas begat Phares and Zerah of Tamar. But then it says, and Phares begat Esrom. So it doesn't deal with Zerah. It doesn't care about that line. So now going back to Luke 3:34, it says, which was the son of Jacob, which was the son of Isaac, which was the son of Abraham. That's what stops in Matthew's. Right there. Luke continues on, which was the son of Thera, which was the son of Nachor. Now you can link this up back in Genesis, because it goes into the lineage of Abraham in Genesis 10. I think it's 10. Let me make sure.
What's his name again? His name is Nectar.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to go. You can measure it based on Genesis 10, 10th chapter dealing with Shem, but I'll come back to it.
Here go a quick question. Back here, before God sent the angels down there, were they all talking in Hebrew?
Who? When
God said they was building pyramids to the heaven and stars. The God sent the angels down there to give them a language that they would understand one another.
Right.
Well, let's go before the angels went down there. Was they speaking all speaking Hebrew?
All speaking. It says the earth was of one language, Hebrew.
Right. Now.
That's where Eber comes in.
Back to the lady in the library of speaking in tongues.
Right.
I said you need an interpretator for that right there because it's in the Bible. I put that in here, and I think you all, one of y'all showed me that you need it when you get two together. You need an interpretator when you speak in tongues.
Right. You find it in Corinthians.
Yeah. I took that back to the library. Yeah, you the one told me. She looked at me. Come on, y'all, me. You need an interpretator for that. That's right. That's why Esau came up with.
No, but it's simple, right? Because tongues is just language.
Right.
That's all that means. Tongues is language. So if I'm speaking in a different language than what you can understand, but I now can speak and understand the language. If I can speak in this language fluently, then a person who doesn't speak in the language, I can then do what? Translate that for you to understand what I just said or interpret, right? And that kind of that to me, that's so bugged out because when you ask somebody who does this,
she does.
And they cannot do that, that's just totally bugged. It was some Pan-African group that we had when they used to do those festivals, and this brother who was a part of this organization, they said they spoke in this other language that was a part of like the original African language or whatever that was. I said, okay, fine. And he said the source of their doctrine comes from this language. So I said, cool, whatever that is, I'm curious, I want to understand.
Right.
I was like, do you speak this language? He said, yes. I said, great, because I don't. Can you now interpret for me what are your principles and what it is that you have in this language? He said, I can't do that. I said, why not? He said, because it's in another language. I said, so what? You understand the language. Just tell me what it's saying as you read it. He was like, I can't do that. And I'm like, yo, is this guy bugged out or what? Like, it don't make sense. This is simple logic. You know how to speak the language and understand what's in this book that you're reading from. You speak English. Tell me that in English. And he couldn't do it. Right? And I said, you know, that sounds really ridiculous right now, right? So it's the same thing for someone who is speaking in these weird tongues. That's why the scripture tells you that in 1 Corinthians 14.
14 who?
14.
Yeah, you gave it 33?
Let me see when it start at.
Yeah. I seen her before she retired. She about to start work. How you doing?
14 and 9.
From that white man. How you doing? All that over 14:9?
No, actually, it starts at the second verse. 14 and 2 all the way.
He speaks in an unknown tongue, speaks not unto men, but unto God. For no man understands him. How about in the spirit he speaks mystery? Right.
So howbeit, so when you speak in an unknown tongue, you're not edifying the people. You only speaking to the Most High, right? And an unknown tongue is an unknown language to the people. But of course, the Most High knows all the languages. So that's why it says you only speaking to the Most High. You speaking in the air. You ain't speaking to those that's in earshot of you, right? But he says, but he that prophesieth speaketh unto men to edification and exhortation and comfort. But he that speaketh in an unknown tongue edifieth himself. But he that prophesieth edifieth the church. So it tells you what's more important, right? prophesying and edifying the church is way much better than over here speaking in languages that nobody can understand. Now, if you are going to speak in a language that nobody understands, you better have someone to interpret, to break it down and edify the people. Exactly.
As in, you gave it to me 2015.
Right.
I would tell ye all spake with tongues, but rather that ye prophesy, greater is he that prophesies than he that speak with tongues, except he interpretate, that the church may receive edifying.
That's the key.
Right there.
Right there. It says, for he is greater that prophesieth than he that speaketh with tongues.
That's right.
The person who prophesies and is edifying the church is way better than that person who's speaking with tongues, except he interpret. That's what you got to do. Interpret. If that person who's speaking in tongues is interpreting, oh, he's all right.
She told me only me and God knows what I'm saying. You know, man, I'm going to cry. Stop.
Right.
You know what you're saying.
Right. So that really holds no weight.
Right.
In the manner of edifying the church. You can stand in the corner and do that all day long. It ain't gonna be better than someone coming over here and breaking down John 3:16. You can say, yeah, I'm talking to the Most High. We're going through deep stuff right now. We communicating on all kind of levels. But that person who just breaking down John 3:16 is way much better than that guy who's standing over there talking about deep stuff. Because he ain't helping nobody right here. He ain't edifying nobody. So what do you want to do over there and people just look at it's for admiration, glory. Because that's what happened when people see somebody on stage. People are like, oh, look at him. He touched. My God, look at him. I don't know what he's saying, but I know they're saying some stuff. There's some deep stuff going on. That's all that's for. Yeah, it don't. I don't know about that. Yeah, because it's unprofitable.
Which makes sense. Yeah, you don't
right.
know what they're saying. What the hell you want to listen
Man,
to?
you don't sit there, nobody understand.
Right. The sucker that's saying just making stuff up, I think.
That's right.
Making stuff
But
up.
the tones, what was the Pentecost? That's the only time the tones came out anyway, was the Pentecost, right? That's when those different nations was over there in Jerusalem, right?
That's when the Jews that came out of different nations were speaking in the languages of the nations that they came out of, which makes sense, right? If you live in Portugal, you're going to speak Portuguese. You've been there for a while, you've been in Spain, you're going to start speaking Spanish, right? You down you here in America, you speaking English. But now all of a sudden, you gotta go back to Jerusalem and you got people from France, because if you go to France, you're going to have Jake over there just like us, but they speak French, right? And then we're going to all meet up together, and then I'm going to be hearing somebody speaking in French, and I'm like, word, I know, did you see that? And they're like, yo, hold on, he talking in English, but he talking in French, and they just talking back and forth. Yo, what the heck is going on? How we hearing them speaking in these languages that we don't know where we came from? That's crazy, right? And most people don't do that unless you're speaking like broken English. You got some people like Spanish, some people that speak part Spanish, part English, right? And they're going back and forth. Only one person speaking in Spanish, other person speaking English, but they from the same place, so they get it. This is from people from different areas, right? All from different areas that all came from like many different areers that's just bouncing it all off each other. Yeah, that's what the tongues was. Nah, they I don't know. Yeah.
But our people,
bingo.
Listen here, remember I was telling you about the track people that was watching?
Uh-huh.
Everybody was black. Even the people from Russia was running track. Because you know you running from America. I asked them about Jamaica, they were the 12 tribes. The Russians, the Chinese people, they had one in the 440 relay, they had 4 people. It was 3 black girls and 1 Chinese girl. The Russians, it was like 4 of them sisters on the track team. And none of them was white. They all was black, all the way across the 440 relay. When they go around there 4 times, everybody was black. From Russia, China, Italy. All of them was black. On one of them I watched, they had these white people out there. Some of them. I said,
You gotta get a nigga to run for
that's
us.
right, yeah. But everybody in the crowd was white.
If we gonna get a call, we may get one of them niggas.
That's right. Hey, excuse me, I just told you earlier. Jesse Owens, he won the 3 awards in front of Hitler. 3 gold medals. But when they went to do the 440, the coach was down there. I gotta say, I just told you name a while ago. He went and told Jesse, "You gonna do what I tell you to do." And Jesse looked at him. Okay, Jesse ran, but his body, boom, flew. They got 4 gold medals. And Hitler wouldn't even go out there shaking that nigga. Kill him before he get out the game. Yeah, I said, wow. Boy, we done went through something like.
And still going through it.
Yeah, right. Ain't no way.
Let's go back and finish this up with all these sons.
Yeah.
So we have verse 35. So it says, which was the son of Saruk, which was the son of Ragar, which was the son of Phalic, which was the son of Heber, which was the son of Selah, right? So that Heber is where Hebrew comes from. It says Heber, and in the Old Testament it says Eber. When you read it in the Hebrew, it says Ibar, which is the Hebrew, right? That's where that comes from. It says, which was the son of Salah, which was the son of Kainan, which was the son of Arphaxad, which was the son of Sem, which is Shem, which was the son of Noe, which is Noah, which is the son of Lamech, which is the son of Methuselah, right? You read about Methuselah living all those years, and you read in the Old Testament, which was the son of Enoch, which was the son of Jared, which was the son, that's not the same one that you thinking about. We ain't get there yet.
They just use his name.
Right, it's just another, somebody with another name. It says, which is the son of Jared, which is the son of Ma'eliel, which is the son of Kainan, which was the son of Enos. That's the one you're talking about, because it was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God, right? So now here it is. It gives you Adam, Cain and Abel. Remember, Cain killed Abel. Then he had another son, Seth, right? That's what you get. And then you get Enos or Enoch that you read about in Genesis, right? So that lineage goes all the way back to Adam.
Yeah.
And then it makes him the son of God, which it says also in Corinthians. All right, so that is the end of Luke. Next week, give me 1 second. Can I get this? So next week we're going to be in second. Let me see if it's second Esdras. Might not be second Esdras.
Yeah, 14 to 15.
No, because we did 16 last. So we'll be in Tobit. Tobit 1 and 2 next week. Tobit 1 and 2. This will be good. So next week for the Sabbath service will be in Tobit 1 and 2. Next week, Friday sundown will be the day of Judas. Next week, Saturday sundown will begin the beginning of Purim. Next week, Sunday sundown will be the closing or the second day of Purim. All right.
All 3 of them days is
Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights. Right. So yeah, we'll have a festive occasion next weekend. Going through the history for those events, those 2 events, and then also feasting on those days as well, along with the Sabbath service reading. So again, just as a reminder for those who didn't catch it, February 15th, sundown is Day of Judas. February 16th, sundown is the first day of Purim. February 17th, Sundown is the second day of Purim. Purim. Per. Per is the yeah. In Hebrew is pariyam, plural, for lots. Per is lot by itself. That's what they did. They cast lots on how they're going to kill us. So yum is plural, like yawum or yum. That's the plural. Bun yum, plural sense of the word. So pariyam is lots in plural. All right. So with that, we're going to close out through the closing prayers. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High and Yahweh Shah for the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding brought forth today in the service. Most High's will, everybody was able to get the scriptures, get the notes. Get any questions or any more commentary on it, please write it down and bring it up during the Tuesday's class. Next week, Friday, will not be class, but it will be the service. So just keep that in mind. That we'll be starting a little later than normal. Won't be starting at 7 o'clock, but we'll do the service starting around 8:30 Friday night. Because, you know, people want to go and cook, prepare, and do certain things. So we'll be back.
So you can cook with them?
Yeah.
We will have some things. That's why I was about to give us some things. And
all right.
Right.
All right, so it's that. Shalom, Yasharallah. Enjoy the rest of the Sabbath. Depending on where you are, if you're up in the Northeast, stay warm. If you're anywhere else, stay in the spirit as well as stay warm. Lord's will, we'll see each other or hear each other during the classes during the upcoming week. All right, stay tuned for the closing prayers.
Okay.
I don't need to say anybody get the blinds.
Yeah,
the blinds already got.
Yeah, already got.
What you say, bro?
They won't go up.
Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Asherah, Nathalanawa, Parya Hagapin, Thawada Amun, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Af, Yasha Allah. I Madra upon you, Jerusalem, stand and face Jerusalem. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Baba Kushai, Shemai, Lanawa, Aitha, Yum Yun, Aitha, Shalak, Mayaka Allah, Waha Allah Hayin, Tazwadakin, La, Shemal Ayel, Barak, Repa, Magun, Wahakaziyat, Bunya, Yasha Allah, Washalat, Lanawa, Rabium, Kakama, Rabium, Da'ai, Rabium, Bayana, Rabium, Sabalanwa, Rabium, Amawan, Rabium, Aqua, Rabium, Ahabium, Rabium, Hagana, Rochanaya, Wasalat, Ko, Kata Ayamnawa, Laha Akim, Wa Akwa, Wayasha Allah, Thumb Yad, Wa'iwalam, Bahasham, Yahawashah, Thawada, Amun. English translation, Yahweh, or the Most High, the name of Yahweh Shai, or Jesus, pleases to us now, right now. Send Michael and the righteous powers of angels to watch over, bless, heal, protect, and make strong the children of Israel. and send to us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding, much patience, much faith, much brotherhood, much love, much spiritual protection, and forgive all our sins for the brothers and sisters in Israel, always and forever. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. Four corners prayer. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barak Nawa, Wayasha Allah, Wabatia Saparian, Shema, Yasharella, Yahweh, Allah, Hayanawa, Yahweh, English translation. Most High, in the name of Christ, bless us in Israel in the house of books or schools. And Deuteronomy 6:4, hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one power. With that, we'll say Shah Shabbat. Peace to our brothers and sisters scattered throughout. Shalom.
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 Shalom.